Hey guys, the weather's been pretty nice down and around here at the moment, so I thought I'd pull out my Boxster. First thing to do will be to remove the plastic cover. The plastic cover is just a tool station. It's a local, what's it called? Tool supplier in the UK. They've got a dust sheet for a couple of quid, which seems to have done very good keeping the dust and dirt off. I'm gonna probably have to pause this and do a second video just so I can get it off two-handed, because I don't want to get the dust back on it. But yeah, so I'll get the cover off and then we will go for a first start for probably, must have been what's today? March, so probably about 4 or 5 months. Right, the cover's off. Now the nice thing I like about these light dust sheets is they're so light that they don't kind of rub over the car and scratch the car. That's the worst thing possible, probably even worse than putting a cover on is, not putting a cover on is actually having a cover that scratches. Now I know this is not immaculate anyway, there's probably a few scratches when you come up close just from me being a rubbish at washing cars. Anyway, what I might do is do a start, because it's probably going to be pretty boring. It's probably just going to start. I'll probably do it from the rear end. Now, when it does start, you'll get a bit of smoke. That's normal for these flat engines. Because they're flat, the oil that sits in them ends up leaking over the through the piston rings. That's normal. So you do get a bit of blue smoke. First thing on these cars is they sort of go into a low power mode. The 986, which is the Boxster, and then the 996, which is the 911. Pretty same cars electrically. But yes, they go into a sleep mode, so the actual buttons don't do anything. Now what you have to do is you have to lock the car, and then you can push the button to unlock. If you try just unlocking it now on the key, it will set the alarm off. Now I can't remember which way is unlock. So if I just try one way, the alarm may go off, but we'll see. Right, car locked. Now I can unlock it. And the alarm doesn't go off. Right, first things first is go into the boot. Get rid of that sheet. I'll probably go in the bin because it's kind of got all messed up. That's the sheet that I got. Just for anyone who's interested. Right, first things first is to check the coolant. Now, let's try. Can I turn the light on this phone? No, I can't. Anyway, the coolant you can just about see. I'm probably just going to double check with a light in a sec. But and the next thing will be to check the oil level. Get the tripod out. And so I can sit you down here. Right. Don't want to sit flat in my boot. Come on, stay. Right. You gonna stay? Good. Right. Because the engine is right under there somewhere, the dipstick's actually pretty long. As you can see, it keeps on going and going and going and going. Right. Now, the oil level may be actually a bit high because it's sort of drained all back to the sump. The other thing that happens when you turn the ignition on, it will tell you what the oil level is. So, right, go back again. And we look about right. In fact, it looks over, but I think once we start this up, it'll be fine. Like I said, it's all just settled back to the sump from sitting here. Now the main thing is that it's got oil. I'd be more concerned if that stick was completely empty. The level was also okay when I put this away. The oil's probably going to need a change. It's due a change. I like to do it after I get them out of storage, just because it means that you get fresh oil when you actually start using it, rather than having it sit. Stuff building up from the crankcase and then having to burn off. But that's just my personal preference. Right, so just double check all the tyre pressures. I mean, I haven't got a gauge on me, but make sure they're not flat, unlike this Volvo, which they are very flat. Not my Volvo, incidentally. Lovely car, but not mine. Yep, they all look good. Car's locked itself again. Oh, Don't forget to take the charger off, but I can't do that until I've got inside. So the car locked itself because I wasn't quick enough to open the door. So on the Porsches, what you've got to do is hold the handle slightly, which will open them, just so you don't damage the seals. Right, let's pop the bonnet, because that's where the battery's stored. And I need to disconnect the charger. Right. Take the charger off. Move that out of the way so I don't run over it, because they're not cheap. Put the dust cover back on the charger. One-handed, come on. These things are quite nifty actually. They flash red, amber or green, telling you what the state of the battery is. So you know if you've been hanging around too long, if they're got stuck, on red. So the next thing to do is just check the brake fluid, which looks good, and close the bonnet. And again, on Porsches, to close them, what you got to do is you drop it down and then you push on the badge, which then should click, just so you don't end up with a massive dent on it. So, squeeze my way in. Right. I always leave these handbrake off and then gear. So if I take it out of handbrake, turn it on, what I'm going to do is, because this will probably start pretty quickly, just to stop the engine turning over and over, because the first thing I want to do is set the fuel back up. When you turn the ignition on, you'll get the pump priming, but it doesn't always fully prime when you first turn on. So if I turn it on, right, that's telling me the oil level, which is still good, which is fine. So turn it off. One more prime. Right. Here, no pump on that one. That's because I think it's primed. Right. I'll sit you back at the back and we'll do a start. So you can actually hear the engine roar rather than just me mumbling on. See, let's get a bit closer. Where should we go? Go there? Yep, let's go there. Cool. So as I said, these things get a bit smoky when they first start up. They also rattle a bit because there's no oil in the system. But you know, it's you'll be worried if it was either really rattly for a good few seconds after, and also I've got tons of smoke out. Now all this smoke is clearing up pretty quick. This is purely just condensation mostly, with a little bit of oil. No real lights on apart from the usual. No seatbelt, handbrakes on, and then the spoiler, which you always get because that only goes when you actually start driving off. But yeah, so that's it. I'm now gonna drive home. Might even put the roof down. One more thing I wanted to show you was getting the Boxster roof up, because this is a first generation pre-facelift, it has a plastic screen. Now there's a particular sequence to this, what you have to do to stop damaging that back screen. First thing, take the hat latch off, then start the hood up, start the hood opening, and then once you get to about this position you stop, because what you need to do is the karate chop. So you can see how it's sort of going in. That will end up having the crease in the wrong place and you'll split the screen. So what you do is you put a kink in, like that, all the way along. So you get a kink in the right place. Now this is an absolute pain in the ass to have to do every time you open the screen. On the facelift they put a plastic screen in, so you don't have to do that. Sorry, in the facelift they put a glass screen in, so you don't have to do that. But these plastic screens, you have to do this every time. So you carry on pushing the button, and then, as you can see, it's creased in the right point. You can see now if that wasn't actually done properly, you didn't put that in, you would end up, putting a crease right in the wrong place and risk damaging the screen. Carry on until the warning light goes out. There. And like I said, that other light is just the spoiler light. Once you go up to a couple of miles an hour, it goes out. See? You can hear the brakes binding a bit. Now, I've got to go. Ta-ta!